Dadra and Nagar Haveli is a union territory in western India. Nagar Haveli is wedged between Maharashtra and Gujarat, whereas Dadra is an enclave 1 kilometer in W, surrounded by Gujarat. The shared capital is Silvassa. The larger part spans a roughly C-shaped area upriver from the city of Daman on the coast, at the center of which, and thus outside the territory, is the Madhuban reservoir. Dadra and Nagar Haveli, DNH, are in the middle of the undulating watershed of the Daman Ganga River, which flows through Nagar Haveli and later forms the short southern border of Dadra. The towns of Dadra and Silvassa lie on the north bank of the river. The Western Ghats range rises to the east, and the foothills of the range occupy the eastern portion of the district. While the territory is landlocked, the Arabian Sea is just to its west, and can be reached via the state of Gujarat. Dadra and Nagar Haveli map in pink color depicting the Gujarati enclave village of Magville in grey color. Magville is a small enclave village belonging to Gujarat that is located within Nagar Haveli, just south of Silvassa and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Geography: the area of Dadra and Nagar Haveli is spread over 491 square kilometers, landlocked between Gujarat to the north and Maharashtra to the south. The Union Territory comprises two separate geographical units, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. It is close to on the western coast of India between the parallels of 20 degrees 0 and 20 degrees 25 of latitude north and between the meridians 72 degrees 50 and 73 degrees 15 of longitude east. It occupies an area of 491 square kilometers, 190 square miles, comparatively equivalent to the Philippines' Biliran Island. It ranks 4th among the Union territories and 32nd including the states. The territory is surrounded by Vast district of Gujarat on the west, north and east and by, the Ain district of Maharashtra on the south and southeast. After division of the Ain district, it is now surrounded by newly formed Palghar district. Topography: the stretch of the main southern area is hilly terrain especially towards the northeast and east where it is surrounded by ranges of Sahyadri Mountains, Western Ghats. The central alluvial region of the land is almost plain and the soil is fertile and rich. The river Daman Ganga rises in the Ghats 64 kilometers from the western coast and discharges itself in the Arabian Sea at the port of Daman after crossing Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Its three tributaries viz. Varna, Pipri and Sakartam join Daman Ganga within the territory. Flora and fauna: about 43% of the land is under forest cover. However, the reserved forest Kayas territory constitutes about 40% of the total geographical area. The protected forests constitute 2.45% of the total land area. According to satellite data taken in 2008, it has roughly about 114 square kilometers, 28,000 acres, of moderately dense forest and 94 square kilometers, 23,000 acres, open forest. As per Forest Survey of India, DNH has two major forest types, tropical moist deciduous forest and tropical dry deciduous forest. The major produce is carewood, care and general timber. Teak, Sandra, care, Mahura and sesame are the major tree species in the region. Tree cover has been estimated around 27 square kilometers from the 6-year data, 2002-08, which is around 5.5% of the total geographical area of DNH. The rich biodiversity makes it a habitat for a variety of birds and animals with numerous trips from inland safari or the coast by tour guides providing ecotourism. Silvassa's hills and wide, forested bufferland provides a main focal point for wildlife enthusiasts. Climate: the climate of Dadra and Nagar Haveli is typical of its type. Being near the coast, all but the sparsely inhabited easternmost parts have a typical North Indian Ocean maritime climate. The summers are hot and become in their later part more humid, with temperatures reaching as high as 39 degrees in the month of May. The monsoon starts in the month of June and extends until September. The rainfall is brought by southwest monsoon winds. It is known as the Cherrapunji that covers the bulk of western India, apart from the Thar Desert, which produces most of the annual rainfall of 200 to 250 centimeters. Winters are between maritime temperate and semi-tropical, with temperatures ranging from 14 degrees to 30 degrees, reliably, as with the monsoon, with scant deviation from this range. History: pre-Portuguese era. The profound history of Dadra and Nagar Haveli begins with the defeat of the Koli chieftains of the region by the invading Rajput kings. It was the Marathas that retrieved the region from the rule of the Rajputs in the mid-18th century. In 1779, the Maratha Peshwa formed an alliance with the Portuguese, allowing them to collect revenue from the 79 villages of Dadra and Nagar Haveli. The rule of the Portuguese in the region continued till the region gained independence on August 2, 1954. The region was merged with the Union of India in the year 1961. Portuguese era. Main article: Portuguese India. The Portuguese occupied Nagar Haveli on June 10, 1783, on the basis of friendship treaty executed on December 17, 1779, as compensation towards damage to the Portuguese frigate by Maratha Navy. Then, in 1785, the Portuguese purchased Dadra. Under the Portuguese rule, Dadra and Nagar Haveli were a part of the Distrito de Daman district, of the Estado de India, Portuguese state of India. The two territories formed a single concelho, municipality, named Nagar Haveli, with its head in Darara until 1885 and, after that, with its head in the town of Silvassa. The local affairs were administered by an elected Kamara municipal council, with the higher level affairs administered by the district governor of Daman, who was represented in Nagar Haveli by an administrator. The Nagar Haveli concelho was itself divided in the following freguesias: civil parishes, Silvassa, Nurli, Dadra, Quilunum, Ronda, Darara, Cadali, Canole, Carcond and Sindanam. The Portuguese rule lasted until 1954, when Dadra and Nagar Haveli were occupied by supporters of the Indian Union. End of Portuguese rule. Main article: Indian annexation of Dadra and Nagar Haveli. After India attained independence in 1947, the residents of Dadra and Nagar Haveli, with the help of volunteers of organizations like the United Front of Goans, UFG, the National Movement Liberation Organization, NMLO, and the Azad Gramantic Dal, subtracted the territories of Dadra and Nagar Haveli from Portuguese India in 1954. Integration into India. Although it enjoyed de facto independence, Dadra and Nagar Haveli were still recognized internationally, for example by the International Court of Justice, as Portuguese possessions. The residents of the former colony requested the Government of India for administrative help. K.G. Badlani, an officer of the Indian Administrative Service, IAS, was sent as the administrator. From 1954 to 1961, the territory was administered by a body called the Vrishta Panchayat of Free Dadra and Nagar Haveli. In 1961, when Indian forces took over Goa, Daman, and Diu, Badlani was, for one day, designated the Prime Minister of Dadra and Nagar Haveli, so that, as head of state, he could sign an agreement with the Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, and formally merge Dadra and Nagar Haveli with the Republic of India. On December 31, 1974, a treaty was signed between India and Portugal on recognition of India's sovereignty over Goa, Daman, Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli.